Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I am here not for long right now. I'm going to, I've got a meeting I got to prepare for in a second, but I thought that I would stop in to give you guys an update on Bill Cosby. I don't know who else is really covering this. I think it's the job of the new black media to keep us posted on situations for which we have concern as a community. I see the Cosby situation as one that has generated a tremendous amount of concern, particularly for the brothers that and the sisters, you know, they have sons and black men in their lives that they care about, in the midst of the whole MeToo movement and the racism that's come out of that. Not to say that the whole movement itself was bad, but to say that bad things have occurred. For example, when you talk about Quintez Cephas at the University of Wisconsin, who was just exonerated, by the way. I just spoke to one of his advocates, where the two white women invited him in for a threesome and then claimed that because they were drunk that he's a rapist. But he never said that they were rapists because he was drunk too. They just, you know, it's just weird, the world we live in. And also, you guys may not know about this, but there's actually 3 Michigan State football players who were put on trial after a woman invited them, all 3 of them, or somehow all 3 of them ended up in a room with a woman, and they're doing the oral sex thing, and nobody knows exactly what happened in that room, but they were accused of assault, and the prosecutors could not convict because they didn't have any evidence or anything. These are all college graduates, from what I understand. So what they did was they actually charged the men. Believe it or not, they charged them with seducing an unmarried woman. I kid you not. They charged him with seducing an unmarried woman. Go look it up. Go look it up. In Michigan State football players, it was a law that was put on the books in 1931, and they couldn't find anything to convict them with. So they literally gave them 5 years of probation, and said, we're doing you a favor because we're going to convict you of seducing an unmarried woman. So they're literally going deep into the archives of the law books. Like when you talk about throwing the book at somebody, they don't just throw the book at the black man. They'll go write a new book just so they can throw it at them. They'll go find old books that they don't use for anybody else so they can go and throw it at the black man. It's real interesting how this is all popping off. And these are just a couple of the cases. Albert Wilson out in Kansas, the college graduate who had a very bright future, who's going to be a great husband, father for some black woman one day. He ended up in that situation where he's got 12 years in prison. And in that situation, there was evidence that this woman was seducing him, was all over him all night. And they didn't even have sex. They actually did not have sex because they were together for 5 minutes in his room. And when Albert's buddy texted him and said, "Where you at, man? Like, come back to the bar." So they all went back to the bar. And according to Albert, and where his word is as good as hers, in my opinion, Albert said, "Look, when my boy texted me and said, 'Come back,' I left, and she got mad at me because I wouldn't sleep with her." That's what Albert said. And I talked to Albert's best friend, his roommate, and his friend said, "Man, this is terrible." He said, because Albert is a good guy, and Albert has never gotten in trouble. Albert is he's nervous when he talks to girls. He don't even talk to a lot of girls. Like, his family thought that he might be gay because he doesn't bring girls around. He's not a player. He's not into like a bunch of women, so this is what's kind of going on. So your son, your brother, or whatever black man in your family, you might think, oh, this can't happen to him. But I'm telling you, I'm just here to tell you, I'm in the kind of the center of all this, and I'm getting emails from people. People are telling me their stories. I'm hearing from people. There's a black professor on a college campus who asked for my support on a case where Title IX is one of the weapons. This was actually ramped up during the Obama presidency. Joe Biden and Obama, basically what they did was they inflated the Title IX regulations on college campuses to basically take away all due process and the civil liberties of the males on campus, particularly black males. So with Quintez Cephas, in fact, I think he's going to actually sue the University of Wisconsin, which I think he should sue the hell out of them. When the 2 women invited him in for the threesome, and they accused him of whatever, even though there's video surveillance, all kinds of stuff that proved that they were like text messages, all kinds of stuff that they had. That's why they couldn't charge him. Before they even investigated, they took him off the football team, and they were trying to put him out of school. and they were trying to get him to do something else, to sign away all his rights, and he refused to do that. So good for him. He actually said, "You're not going to make me run right here hiding because I know I'm not a rapist. I know what happened." He said also, I've got attorneys. So actually, Quintez, from what I understand, I talked to Bishop Tavis Grant, who's been working with the family, and Bishop Grant said now they go on the offensive. Now the University of Wisconsin is going to have to write a check as a settlement to Quintez and his family for undue persecution for what they did to him. So Willie Lynch is alive. Emmett Till situations are happening all over the country, and you got to protect your sons, because sort of the MeToo movement and Title IX are kind of working hand in hand, and a lot of ground zero for all this chaos is on college campuses. Now, why do I talk about this tonight? Some of y'all gonna be mad. I know I got people that come in here that got short attention spans, and they want me to talk about Cosby right away. But if that's who you are, if your attention span is short, this ain't the channel for you. We flesh things out, and if you don't like it, you should probably go somewhere else. So here's what I read about Cosby. Bill Cosby, as you know, he got the 3 to 10 year prison sentence with Andrea Constand for that situation, where there's no proof. It doesn't mean Cosby's a good guy. It doesn't mean he never did anything wrong, but there's no proof. Doesn't mean Cosby didn't do some of the things he's been accused of in the past, but there's no proof. Doesn't mean Cosby is an angel, but there's no proof. Doesn't mean Cosby doesn't deserve to be in jail for something, but there's no proof. In a justice system, there's supposed to be proof. In his case, there's no proof. He got 3 to 10 years in prison. And basically, Cosby, from what I understand, from what I'm reading this USA Today article, according to his reps, now his reps are going to give, they're going to give their perspective, but they're actually optimistic. They said that Cosby's doing really well in prison, and that this curse is really turning into a blessing for all those men that get the honor of being in Cosby's presence. These are the black men that have been forgotten by our community, by other communities. These are people that they act like they're dead. They're not dead. They're incarcerated. They act like they're all terrible people. A lot of them are terrible people. A lot of them got, hemmed up on a drug charge in the 1980s. Some of them got caught possessing weed a decade ago. So ultimately, a lot of these men who could be good husbands and fathers get the honor of having Bill Cosby eating lunch with them every day. And apparently Cosby's really taken to this environment. From what I understand, his rep said, Andy Wyatt says that Cosby's losing weight, that he is giving motivational speeches. Let me see here. I'm reading this here. Let's see here. Mr. Cosby, roughly 3 months ago, had been requested by a number of inmates to come and speak at some of their support groups, and he debated about it and decided to take them up on their offer, Wyatt said by phone Tuesday. One group that he consistently speaks to is a group called Man Up. These are guys that are going to be paroled in a few months, and he is talking to these guys because a lot of them have been in prison, and they are afraid to go back to their communities. This is very important because I have a friend that actually runs a organization where they get prominent black men to come in and help mentor black boys, and black men from the community will show up because a lot of the men that they bring in are sports stars and celebrities. So they like to see the celebrities. So she said she did a survey amongst the black men that were just there watching and asked them, do you feel confident enough that you can be a mentor to a young black child? And the majority of the men said no. They said they don't feel confident. They don't feel that they have done enough. They don't feel like they're good people. They don't feel like they are worthy of being mentors. What does that reflect to me? What that says to me is that as a black man, you have been raised in a country that has been shaped to never want you to be a man. You live in a country that is designed to keep you as a little boy. You live in a country that is designed to steal your self-esteem, to steal your dignity, to steal your self-worth. You live in a country that labeled you a villain and a bad guy from the time you were born. So the same way people, talk about, they complain about Donald Trump, and what he said about, Mexicans and, stuff like that, terrible things. I won't even repeat it because it wasn't cool that he said this. Well, they do that to the black man. They've been doing that to the black man for 400 or 500 years. They want to label you as sexual predators when they do that. Because remember, when you see a man as esteemed and as respected as a Bill Cosby go down like that and receive literally one of the worst labels that a human being can receive in this society, that's speaking to all of you. When he went down, a lot of y'all went down. A lot of y'all said, damn, like they took the biggest, strongest black man we could think of, and they tore him down to nothingness. So if he ain't shit, then I must not be shit. So a lot of us, we internalize that. And that's what they did on the plantation. On the plantation, if they wanted to tear down the self-esteem, self-worth, and confidence of every black male on the plantation, they wouldn't go get them all. They would just go get the biggest, strongest one that everybody looked up to and tear him down in front of everybody. And then that tears everyone else down at the same time. So I would just say that a lot of your black men have been torn down. And they've been reduced to nothingness psychologically. And when you are torn down, you start to behave in a way that reflects the way you see yourself. That's why you got black men that will get on a record, make a record for a white-owned music label and talk about each other and talk about ourselves as if we are, rapists and liars and killers and thugs and gangsters and dope dealers and whatever we think we are, right? Idiots, just stupid, proud to be stupid. I'm proud that that I can't spell my mama's name, right? Or you got the Migos, those that rap group, the Migos. 20-something-year-old black men did a commercial for Sprite or somebody, I forgot who the hell, Mountain Dew, and they were all riding tricycles. Like, I was like, why are these grown black men weren't riding tricycles? Oh, that's right, because in America they want the black man to be a little boy. They if you're not dressed as a little boy and behaving as a little boy, then they're going to attack you because they're like, wait a minute, there's a black man, we need to go take him down, right? So I like the fact that Cosby's speaking to the group Man Up, because we need men, despite even men who've made mistakes. And I'm not going to say Cosby didn't make a mistake. I believe that he probably did make some mistakes in his life. But I also believe all these other sons of bitches have made mistakes too. These other motherfuckers have made mistakes. But Bill Clinton was Bill Cosby's homeboy. So, but y'all letting him be a role model. So why can't Cosby go into prison and talk to these brothers and help them make their lives better? Cosby ain't all bad. Cosby is not worthless. Cosby is not a dirty piece of shit that deserves no redemption in our society. Cosby is a man who maybe he was imperfect in certain ways. I don't know. I haven't seen the evidence of that. But at the same time, Cosby made some great shows for the black community. He pushed for education in the black community. He wanted black people to have dignity. He wanted us to have good families. He used the platforms he had, Fat Albert and the Cosby Show and A Different World, to elevate his community. So I'm not going to say he's perfect. He might be an imperfect role model, but he's one of the best we got. He's a guy that I love. I love the fact that these guys, I'm going to tell you, the greatest blessing in the world on these men is that Cosby probably would never have spoken to any of them if he had not gone through this situation. So at the end of Cosby's hell comes a heaven for some brother in there who's got a couple kids at home who needs to man up before he gets out so he can be the best father that he can be. And I'm just so inspired by it. I think it's wonderful. I love it. And what I really hope, my hope right now is that when Cosby gets out, that he continues to do this, that he builds a whole new career, a whole new brand that focuses specifically on what I know that he loves to do. Cosby loves to motivate black people. He loves to lift us up. And sure, he had to get torn down. Sure, he gave that pound cake speech, which showed a little bit of disconnect from the struggles of a lot of black folks. But I think Cosby's wiser now. And I'm hoping that when he gets out, he will do these motivational speeches all around the world. And I hope black people will support him. I hope that black people will bring their sons and their daughters and their children so they can learn from him. You ain't got to go and have a drink with him, but you can learn from him. And I would just think that'd be great. And we sell out every arena, every place he goes to speak. He's making $100,000 because so many black people show up and show out, and he gets more attendance than a Cardi B concert or whatever. And that that he's able to come out and make millions of dollars by motivating his people. In fact, my platform's open. I don't know if anybody in here that watches these videos. We about 1 million black people a week watch the channel. So if anybody knows Cosby or has a contact with him, let his people know that I will be honored to have him when he gets out, have him on this channel right here, and I will personally support and endorse anything that Cosby is working on, because I believe that he is an asset to the community that can be redeemed, that can be utilized to the benefit of millions of people. In fact, when I have surveyed black folks, most black folks think those charges were bullshit. They think it's absolutely insane that this lady got all this money for something that wasn't even proven, and then she turns around and files charges even though they promised that they never would file the charges. I think that there are lots of people who don't understand how grabbing a white woman's titty can be considered a crime that's worse than murder. He could have murdered 3 black men and got less time than he got for allegedly grabbing that white woman's boob. And I know people, I know men who've been touched and grabbed and all this other stuff, that where you can't go and get a white woman sent to prison for 10 years because she touched you inappropriately. I'm not going to say that it's right. I'm not saying any of it's right, but I'm saying that you need proof. And I'm saying that I don't understand, I think that this is an example of overkill. I think this was a lynching. This was a public lynching. That's what it was. And so and I don't think you have to believe Bill Cosby's a good guy to see that. I don't think you have to believe he's completely innocent to see that. So anyway, that's my opinion on Cosby, and I know it's probably going to make a lot of people mad. I get a lot of folks that are like, oh, how can you defend a rapist? You're defending rape. No, I'm not defending rape. I'm just defending honesty. I'm defending fairness. I'm defending justice. I'm defending integrity. And I don't think the Me Too movement, as it pertains to what it's doing to black men all over this country, is a movement that's built on integrity. I think Tarana Burke, who started this movement, should be, she should either be ashamed or saddened by the fact that when this movement got taken over by white females in Hollywood, they turned it into something else, and it has become nothing less than a Holocaust or an attack, a Hitler Nazi lynching, mass lynching of black men all over the country. Black men everywhere have been put under suspicion because they've always felt that you possess what is called toxic masculinity. They've always felt the black man had toxic masculinity, and as a result, several black men, go read the articles about black men that are being taken down based on accusations. First of all, the accusation is enough to destroy you. They don't need proof. But even when they send them away, they never provide the evidence. They never explain like what proof is there. Like Quintez Cephas, go read the articles about Quintez. No, don't believe me. Go do the research. Go check the receipts. Go read the articles about Quintez Cephas and look. I want y'all to come back to me and show me if you can find any evidence presented in the media that proves that Quintez was guilty of the crimes that he was accused of. Show me anything that has any evidence. They don't provide any evidence. All they say is a white woman said it, therefore it must be true. That's pretty much what they say in the story. Like, so go look at Albert Wilson. Albert Wilson, young brother, just got out of college, had his whole life in front of him. I mean, had a whole great future, all these great things. He had as many hopes and dreams as the average white woman, and now that's done. This man got 12 years in prison, and they still in the media, they'll say he got convicted, or they'll speak about the rape as if it happened, but they provide no evidence at all that there was an actual sexual assault. I think the only thing I saw was that the DNA from his saliva was on her chest because he kissed her. He don't deserve 12 years in prison for a fucking kiss. I'm sorry. Don't tell me that young black man needs to go to prison for 12 years because he kissed a white woman who wanted to kiss him back. What the hell's wrong with you people if you think that that's normal? That is not normal. That is not normal. What the hell, man? What kind of crazy world are we living in where we think that's normal, where a young black man who just finished college, who's got his whole future ahead of him, should be in prison with real rapists and killers for 12 years because he kissed a white woman? There's DNA. I couldn't believe it. I say this because I had a friend that was a lawyer who texted me, and he's like, well, doc, you don't actually have to. He was being helpful, and I appreciate him being helpful, but my head almost exploded when he said, well, doc, because I said, well, they didn't even have sex. There's no evidence that they had sex. And he's like, well, doc, you don't actually have to have sex to be accused of sexual assault. But I'm like, there's DNA on her chest from a kiss. Even if it was an involuntary kiss, that ain't worth no 12 years in prison. People have kissed me, and I didn't want. They kissed me. I'm like, well, like grandma kiss. Grandma kiss you. You're like, yeah, grandma, don't be kissing me when you're little. You know what I'm talking about? Like I've had people kiss me, and I didn't want them to kiss me, but I wouldn't give them 12 years in prison for that. What the hell, man? Is that how bad y'all want to send black men to prison, that you're gonna send a brother to prison 12 years because he allegedly kissed the girl? And again, all the evidence shows is that she was all over him. Her whole drunk ass was begging for his whatever he had going on in his pants. And y'all up here, y'all gonna send him to prison? Sorry, I just thought about it, and I went on a tangent. I can't help it because it's so stupid. But it only starts to make sense when you understand the history of this country. If you go read some real black history, some Claude Anderson history, it all starts to add up. It makes sense. They've been doing this to black men for hundreds of years, and they just ain't stopped. This ain't nothing but a reflaring of what they've done in the past. That's all this is. This ain't nothing but racist culture remanifesting itself. So That's why, if you want to know why I'm not voting in the election for Democrats or Republicans, it's because I'm not going to vote for any party that will support this kind of Me Too nonsense. I can't do it. I support, if you want to stop sexual assault, I'll ride with you. But if you get to the point where black men are being taken down because they looked at a white woman funny, what kind of idiot you think I am that I'm gonna support that bullshit? I know a black professor who damn near lost his job because a student anonymously said his presence makes me uncomfortable. He never had a private conversation. He didn't even know this young lady. And literally he was under a year-long investigation because she said his presence makes me uncomfortable. Well, get used to that shit. Black men, we've been making y'all uncomfortable since the beginning of time. When we got off the slave ships and you saw our penises were bigger than yours, we made you uncomfortable. When you saw how big and strong we were, we made you uncomfortable. When you saw what happens when we get our stuff together, how great we can be, we make you uncomfortable. So get used to it, man. Just get used to it. So let me sum it up. I wish Mr. Cosby the best. The article inspired me to come and talk to you guys about it because I want to see this man win. He's 82 years old. I don't know how much time he has left, but I think that his legacy can be preserved in our community. Maybe out there, the legacy is killed. Maybe out there, they see him one way and that's fine. But it's up to black people to decide who our heroes are going to be. Even if they're flawed heroes, I think that there's still room for us to say, Mr. Cosby, we don't know what mistakes you made, and some of those mistakes we're not going to forgive. But the other parts of you that did right by us, we're going to show respect to that. And I think that if he gets out of prison healthy and he does that world tour, I'm going to support it. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to do everything I can to help him find a way to make his millions of dollars in a different way. So, because he deserves it. He deserves it. So I'm glad he's doing what he's doing for these brothers in prison, because ain't nobody else doing nothing for them except making them into slaves. So anyway, I'm done, guys. I'm about to go. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, I'll be in Los Angeles on August 11th. That's in 5 days. So if you want to come to the investment seminar in Los Angeles, it'll be 7 hours long. We'll be there all day long. It'll be me and a small group of black folks. If you want to network with other investment-minded black people, feel free to go to drboycelosangeles.com. That's drboycelosangeles.com. So I hope you guys can get what I'm saying. Also, by the way, me and Andre C. Hatchett actually have an organization for black men that want to be strong black men that subscribe to certain values. It's Black Men United. It's at blackmenunited.net. It's free to join. So feel free to go to blackmenunited.net and sign up. This is for black men only, black men only, black men only. But if you want to connect with other brothers that are doing the right thing with their lives, they want to support and protect black women. You got to love black women. If you hate black women or you talk shit about black women, we can't support that. But we do support and defend black men in every way. Also, we talk about things like wealth building, the power of education, the importance of every black man having a passport. There are certain things that we believe about manhood. And so if you're interested, feel free to go take a look. It's blackmenunited.net. That's blackmenunited.net. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Peace.